Rachel here. David Larsen is with me today, and he's going to share some things that he's learned along the way. He had 9 e-learners join his class first semester, which meant that he had to figure out sooner than the rest of us how to teach to humans physically in the classroom, and 9 additional learners joining his class virtually. David, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
As you were considering the fact that you were going to have these e-learners join, what are some things, some strategies that you've used to make that work?
What I started with last semester was about the first 7 weeks, or whenever we got our first quarantine, I actually had all kids come every day. So I was actually doing Synchronous every day. So along with the e-learners, I also had the B cohort kids with me on Monday, Wednesday, and the A cohort kids with me Tuesday, Thursday. So I was doing 5 days a week Synchronous. So I wanted to continue to maintain that. Part of the challenge was technology. My types of classes, home repair and agriculture business, are a moving around type of class. And so it was very important that I have some flexibility with that. So I started out with just a computer like we all have on a cart. And that worked pretty well, except I was constantly like, what are the kids seeing? Trying to go like that, right? Having it on a cart itself was, mobile was really important. I would have e-learners be like my off cohort learners. And those lessons would run typically in the 15 to 25 minute range. And often I would cut loose the in-person kids to work on the hands-on activities that we had. And then I would kind of debrief with the ones who were at home or online, and kind of tell them what was happening, kind of guide them through, so that the next day, if they were coming in person, they were ready, or if they were full online, they kind of had the full kind of rhythm of the experience. And so it felt most like normal teaching, and that's what my goal was. What I do that added a nice piece for me is I have a Chromebook or another device next to me. Most departments have those, and so I can then pin myself in the screen. And so that's what the kids see, and that's what the recording sees, right? And then I tell the kids to pin that camera to their own screen, but then I can still see them and interact over here. I'm recording and posting each lesson. So I have 2 preps. So I post a video of both preps each day in Canvas. In the module section, Rachel helped me set up just a page of videos, right? So just link them in there, and I put what the topic is. Hey, I couldn't make it today. Had to do whatever. What do you want me to do? Well, then they can watch that, and then I have a series of questions that they respond to if they've missed a class. So that's already built in. I don't have to do a lot of follow-up with it. And then each day I do have them do an exit ticket. So right now in full remote, their exit ticket is actually part of their grade. So they have to reflect on what they learned. And in my classes, there's a decent amount of safety stuff. So there's a question around what safety things were shared. And so then I get an idea of who's sort of clued into that. So that's kind of my current system. When we go hybrid, I think I will probably have the exit tickets just for the e-learners and off cohort kids. But I'll continue with that. They will have to respond as part of their experience each day. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
What I love that you're sharing is that it wasn't like you landed on the first thing you tried was the perfect solution for you. I want to circle back really quickly. I know there are some folks in our building who are super intimidated, thinking that to do something like this, to be able to, teach synchronously to students who are in person live in the classroom and students who are joining remotely, that you need to be some kind of a tech wizard. What I'm hearing from you is you use Google Meet, Canvas, and some kind of a camera, whether it's your laptop or a Chromebook. What would you say to someone who's feeling intimidated by this?
Well, so I'm glad you asked that question, Mrs. Matthews. Check is in the mail. No, if you had a continuum of what, kind of the easiest, simplest implementation to the most complex, I'm probably in the half on the first half. But down in the math wing in the lower 400s, we'd love to have you come down. Who you will find there on this continuum is Ed Collins. He doesn't even have a laptop from the school. He has a desktop machine, and he has it facing a whiteboard. So if you imagine a whiteboard behind me, and so he has that one computer, and that is what he projects, and the kids are able to see. It's about 6 feet away from the board. So if you could imagine e-learners with that, and then he could step out of the picture and still be able to hear what's going on with the in-person learners, right? That works. And then you have Mackenzie Bachman also likes the movable cart idea. So she moves it down the board. So she has a long whiteboard and kind of progresses down as she runs out of space, just moves the kids, right?
Yeah.
But the kids in person could see that as well. She also has run the second computer so that she can see all the e-learners and have herself pinned.
You have Ed, who has one computer pointed at the whiteboard. When he moves, the computer doesn't go with him. He can always swing back when he needs to check in with those kids. Mackenzie has a computer on a cart and maybe another Chromebook, just so that she can see the kids and be seen at the same time. That
and I'm sort of in that same realm, and mine just I wanted more flexibility of physical space, because I don't do there's really nothing that happens on a whiteboard. It's always like, look at this or look at this, and right. And then John Lawless has pulled together a system with a lot of his own equipment. So I want to just qualify that, like, no, there's not money to buy all the stuff that John Lawless has done. But if you want to see like the pinnacle in my mind, what he has is he has his iPad of his own. He has his own laptop from the school. He has an Apple TV, if you know what that is. So what he is able to do, and he has a remote, a separate camera, right? What he is able to do is he has his presentations all on a PDF that he's able to manipulate from either device, and he can switch between the two devices. So if he wants to walk around with the iPad without it tethered at all, right? No cord. He can control the presentation. He can make notes on it. The kids online see the notes being made live, and it's projected through the LCD projector and the Apple TV to the whiteboard. My mind kind of goes kaboom, like, wow, that's awesome. I'm not there, and you don't need to be there either.
Right.
But there's a continuum, and find your sweet spot. I think that back to why it matters that we keep working on it is we're showing resiliency and flexible thinking on our own part.
I just want to highlight a couple of things you said, that you don't have to feel like you have it all together in front of your kids, that in some ways you're modeling for them that it's okay to try something new, and that sometimes there's problem solving and there's tweaking that goes along with that, and that's okay. Also, your kids are a resource. They know technology too. So you can always have them help you along the way. And then the last thing I want to point out is that we don't have money to buy new equipment, but we do have some existing resources.
So there aren't too many carts around available. If you are really hard pressed and want to experiment with it early on, I could loan you a cart for a little bit. But you can also request through Tom for the district to send you excess carts.
The folks can reach out to Tom Neal if they need a cart. I was going to also say, feel free to hit me or Don Ramsey up. We have monitors. So if you want to have dual monitors where your laptop and your monitor and you have that going on, there are Chromebooks available if you'd like to have an additional Chromebook. And if you have some other idea, you can always ask. We may or may not have it available to you, longer cords, those sorts of things. But just know that it is kind of a make it work with what we have situation. But we do have some resources. If folks are feeling like they need someone to talk them through this, obviously I'm available to help to problem solve. I'll be your guinea pig, but David, would you be willing to be a resource?
And then throw on those other people I've already okayed it with them. Ed Collins, I'd love to share it. Ed's a great, if you don't know Ed, he's all of these people are worth meeting. Wonderful people. He talked you through his version. Mackenzie Bachman down in math to talk you through her version. And John Lawless would show you his Ready for Academy Award filming version, right?
Thank you so much for your willingness to share, for your willingness to be a resource for folks. I guess, is there anything else that you want to share before we sign off today?
Buy more lettuce.